If you think this looks like it's about to get messy, you're completely right. I have these Artex gouache jelly cup thingies, and this thing weighs a freaking ton. And it is the messiest palette I have ever had the misfortune to work with. This is what I'm dealing with. Should you have the misfortune to drop this on the floor, like I did, this is what happens. Yes. Yeah. Ugh, I am not a messy painter. I cannot deal with this anymore. Now, to their credit, these paints have been open, as in unwrapped from their cellophane, since I had them. I was gifted them about 6 months ago. I don't remember exactly how long. I expressed an interest in them, and one of my patrons decided to send me some, which was very nice of her. And I do like them. I really enjoy these paints, but this I do not enjoy. Not only is it very, very messy, it is really wasteful. Look at the black has gone into my white. I mean, come on. I was looking on Amazon for a solution, and I found this palette, which is a 12-cup mini palette with tumblers and a mixing space. And I thought, oh, that'd be quite good, except this is 18 colours. I wonder if it comes in 18. No. Change of plan. I already have palettes I can use. What if I simply transfer this mess into these little food containers? I bought 200 of these little thingies on eBay for, I think, about £3.50. Not terribly expensive, maybe 16 pence each, something like that. They are food grade, sealable containers for things like vinaigrettes. They're called dressings containers. So basically they're airtight, they're watertight, and they've got that plastic in them that doesn't degrade. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, they're food grade. So I thought maybe this would work to put this mess into, because frankly, it couldn't be any worse. And if these are airtight, although this palette isn't particularly airtight anyway, and these gouache, these jelly gouache, stay very, very wet, as you can see. If these are airtight, then that's even better. So I'm thinking, transfer this mess into these. And I got 3 cups out thinking, oh, I'll do 3 initially. And then I'm just looking at this and like, no, the whole lot is going in. This is going to get repurposed for, like, I don't know, bead storage or something. It's not going to be paints, because this is a hot mess. Let's do some cleanup, shall we? I'm not going to film the whole process, but let's do at least one and see what kind of a mess we get in. Now, it should be noted that I have here a letter opener, which has a pointy end and a flatter end. Should I be using a palette knife? Absolutely I should. Can I find my palette knife? So we're going to work with what we've got. I honestly am at the point where I don't know where to start. I guess getting out the cleanest ones would probably be the best answer. So the ones that don't have a lot of stuff from other colours. This one doesn't have a huge amount of other colours in it, but it has... It's the consistency of melted ice cream. So yeah, you can imagine how thrilled I am to be doing this, but it's now or never. Okay, a little bit of paper towel here so I can keep cleaning off my thing, and I've also got a pot of water over here, which I should probably take the lid off just in case, because these darker colours really stain and they're quite difficult to get off if they're not wet. So should probably be able to clean this as well. Okay, so there's 2 that are not too bad. This red isn't too bad, it's just got a little bit of orange on the edge, so let's get that out of there. The green here is not too bad. It's just got a little bit of red transfer. The yellow and orange have mixed a little bit here, but honestly I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue because they're quite similar in tone. So let's get this one out of here. And I thought getting the lids off this lot was messy. That blue's got a lot of that one in it. Let's take that off. Some of the colour you can see is actually underneath. So let's get that one out of there. Some of them are stuck apparently. I really am wishing I'd done this in the first place, to be honest, because then I wouldn't have this mess. I did think of it, I didn't do anything about it. I think before we get in any more of a mess, I have to somehow hold this still while I do this. Got it all over me. Not enjoying this. It's not fun. I hate getting paint on my hands. Okay. I'm going to scrape this into here. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. So I'm going to scrape all of this into this pot. I'm using my little finger to hold the lid so that it doesn't tip up. So don't worry about that, it's not going to tip up. Because it's this consistency of treacle pudding, it's very, very difficult to scrape it out. So much waste. I'm not loving how much waste there is. Yeah, I really do wish I'd done this in the first place now, because I'm already seeing it would have been a lot easier to do this if it was fresh, completely fresh paint. I mean, the paint hasn't gone off or anything, but if it was completely fresh, clean paint, you know, literally just take the lid off, throw it into one of these containers, that would have been a lot less messy. I'm not going to try and clean out the container completely. I'm not that much of a Scrooge. I just don't like waste. So if there's a big blob of paint in the bottom that I can salvage, I'm not going to throw it away. See, that's as close as we're going to get it, I think. I really have to do this 18 times. And this is with a clean one. My God. You know what? I don't think I can be bothered salvaging anymore. Okay, I'm going to clean off the edge there so it doesn't stick on the lid. But I'm not going to try and clean the sides or anything. I'm just going to clean around the edge so that the lip of the thing doesn't stick. Okay. Repeat. I think I'm learning a little bit more about this process every time I do it. I'm certainly getting cleaner at it. It seems to be working. So I'm going to go off camera, finish decanting all of these because it's going to be a bit of a process. And hopefully I'll be back at some point with some clean paints.
3 hours later.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm at the end here now. This is the black. I have decanted everything else into pots. And if you can hear a weird snorty noise in the background, that's Maddie snoring. I thought I would just check in at the end here with a little bit of, so how did we do? Because I've learned a few things as I've been going along. First off, this is really, really messy. For those of you who've seen people trying to get the carton lids off these things in the first place, you'll know that the lids are hard to get off anyway, and it's a messy process. You know, like the containers of sauce you get in restaurants, they're sealed like those, but they don't come off very easily. And the mess created by taking the lids off initially is pretty much the same as the mess created by this. So I would say, if you think you're going to want to do this, get the pots when you buy the paints, and as soon as you take the lid off and scrape the lid off into this pot, scrape the rest into your little pot, and then dispose of these silly plastic things or use them for something else or whatever, because it's honestly not worth making the mess twice. This has been a maddening process. Second, do your whites first, because everything else will contaminate your whites. I know that sounds obvious, but you know, I left one of my whites till the end because it had a lot of black in it. And I really regret that, because by the time I finished the other colours, it had a lot of other colours in it as well. What I should have done was just taken the whites out, scooped out the bits that were contaminated, and just decanted the pure white that was left. I didn't do that, and it's messy now. After you've done your whites and your cream, do the three dark colours, the black, the brown, and the indigo, because these three stain like the devil. They are not fun to work with. They will get everywhere. After every time I did one of these dark ones, I've had to go and literally wash my hands completely. So I think do your whites, keep those nice and clean, then do your three darks, and then go and wash up, and then do the other colours. The other colours don't really contaminate each other too much, especially if you do all the warm colours and then all the cool colours. I did mine kind of randomly, and I didn't have that much trouble either. But this, the black and the purple, sorry, the black and the indigo stain. I mean, I'm just a mess. I literally am just a mess. I don't even know why I'm trying to clean it up with a paper towel, because it's just not happening. There is a lot of wastage this method as well. So again, for that reason, I would say if you think you're going to want to do this, buy the pots when you get your paint and decant the fresh pots into these. You will be a lot better off. I would also say, top tip, make sure that you mark your titanium white, which is your pure white. Your zinc, depending on which set you get, it either says zinc white and titanium white, or titanium white and titanium zinc white. Whichever it is, the one that is zinc is the bottom of the barrel. So it's easy to remember. Z is at the end of the alphabet, it's at the bottom of the list, bottom of the barrel. That's your mixing white. Titanium on its own is your pure white that you use. It's basically, in this set, it's almost exactly the same. It's just much, much thicker in consistency. The whites and the creams dry out. In fact, the lighter the colour, the faster it dries out. And the darker the colour, the less easily it dries out. The whites I had trouble getting out of the pot because they're so thick and goopy and they dry so fast, whereas the black and the indigo virtually poured themselves out. Mark your titanium white so you know which is your proper white and which is your mixing white. I think what I'm going to do now, obviously I have a lot of cleanup to deal with. I think all of these are salvageable. They just need a really, really good clean, and they probably need a soak. So I think what I'm going to do, because these are sturdy containers, they'd be good for like mixing colours in. At the very least I can use these for throwing bits of acrylic paint in while I'm painting, which would be a lot less messy than a flat palette, which I am always putting my arm into. I'm sure this will work really well as bead storage or something like that, if you've got beads or whatever. I need to wash up because I'm covered in this stuff, and then I need to go and find something to put my lovely pots of gouache in, because look at all this. This is so much better. I'm so much happier with this. This is much, much easier to deal with. Oops, I've dropped my brush on the floor. It takes up more room, obviously. It's not going to be as convenient, but less mess is good for me. I'm happy. That's my thoughts on the process, in essence. This is so much better if you do it right at the beginning. I'm much happier with this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.